Hello everyone, this is Chromý and together we will continue the course Interdisciplinary Approaches to Language and its Use. This presentation is a brief introduction to the next topic we will discuss, and this is the language production from the psycholinguistic perspective. Language production is a highly complex topic which can be addressed from various perspectives, not only from the psycholinguistic point of view. However, even in psycholinguistics, the complexity of the topic is still pretty high. First, production may be studied in various levels of detail. We may be interested in the macro planning, how people plan their speech, how they act in a conversation, and so on. Or we may focus on micro planning and thus discuss issues such as word selection, syntactic or phonological encoding, articulation, and so on. Some aspects of the topic are well studied, such as lexical access. Some are still quite under-researched, such as various macro-planning issues. The second difference lies in the modality we would focus on. Language production is mostly studied in its spoken modality, at least in the field of psycholinguistics. But there are other modalities one might focus on. On one hand, we may be interested in written production. On the other hand, we may study sign language production. The spoken language production might also be analyzed in relation with co-speech gestures. The third important thing is the language we focus on. There are various typological differences between the languages, but most of the psycholinguistic findings are based on the research of very few languages, such as English, German, Dutch, or Spanish. Studies focusing on language production in other languages often report somehow different findings. Cross-linguistic differences thus present a very important issue in the research on language production. The last factor which differentiates various studies in language production is the methodology. The techniques used to gather data vary from diary studies to experimental laboratory methods and to computation modeling. In sum, we can see that language production is a highly complex area. In this lecture series, we will rather touch some of the problems that then give you an elaborated introduction. Before we will conclude this presentation, I have one reading tip for you. If you are interested in language production from the psycholinguistic perspective in more detail than I will give you here, I recommend you to read the study by Zenzi Griffin and Christopher Crew, Research in Language Production, which is a well-written but short introduction into the field. If you enjoy the presentations, we would be glad if you would like them on YouTube. That is all from me now. See you next time.